Welcome to this edition of the Capital Brief. I'm Seth Berenzweig. I'm the managing partner of Berenzweig Leonard here in Tysons, Virginia. And I'm here this morning with my colleague, John Tamny. John's a nationally known author, columnist, and vice president of FreedomWorks. Good morning, John. How you doing?
Great. Good to be here.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to be jumping right into the hottest topic of the week, which, of course, is Elon Musk putting in a bid to buy Twitter. As we speak, the board has unanimously approved a recommendation for Elon Musk to acquire all of the outstanding shares and take the company private. It's gotten all kinds of coverage from all different kinds of perspectives, so I think it's going to be important to really frame this in a way that we think really tees up a lot of the major issues. Obviously, he's acquiring one of the biggest social media megaphones on the planet. John, what's your take on the situation?
I like it. I think it's a good message for us all. Stop being victims. If you want something, if you want change in an organization, rather than complain about it and say it's mean to you or it's canceling me, buy it. And I'm serious about that.
Right.
In the past, if you look at Rupert Murdoch, rather than whine about how the media aren't fair to the right, what he did is he started Fox, and he did it against all odds. And so, and it cost a lot of money. Well, here's Musk saying, who knows what he's going to do with it. I think this notion that he's doing it to give me free speech is laughable.
Oh, is that right?
I think he's got much bigger plans than giving me a better megaphone or someone like me. But I think it's exciting. This is how things should be done. Rather than going to Facebook and saying you're not being nice to conservatives, buy the company.
Yeah. Now, I do buy to a large extent his statement that he wants to give a more open, freer platform. I think that it's going to be harder than what he thinks it's going to be. And obviously, one of the aspects of this acquisition that people in mainstream media aren't covering is the fact that he's not going to walk in there and run the company. He's going to be hiring a board of directors. He's going to be hiring high-level managers that will be answering to the board of directors, people that will actually be doing any kind of content moderation, be that as it may. So I don't think that he, other than setting a high-level policy and direction, is really going to be much a lot in terms of a hands-on approach. But when you say that you don't think he's doing it to make it a nice open platform, that he has other purposes in mind, frankly, that wouldn't bother me one way or the other. If it's his company, he can do whatever the hell he wants. But what do you think his real intentions are?
Well, I don't think his intention is to not give me free speech. My sense is this will be part of it. It's going to be more open to differing points of view. But you don't spend $44 billion to then take a company private so that you can open up the algorithms and give some wacko like me free speech. You're doing it because you've got major plans, because you see potential that the existing management didn't see.
Right.
And so that's what fascinates me about all the criticism from the left that, oh my gosh, what's he going to do? And then the right saying, well, we finally got our megaphone back. Oh, please. Both sides don't get it. And they don't get it because they don't have near the mind that Elon Musk does. He has a career of doing things that everyone says have no chance of making it.
Right.
And to pretend that he's just going to buy Twitter and be a caretaker is laughable. He is going to transform it in ways that we can't predict, that are so beyond our ability to comprehend. And that's what's exciting about it.
Right.
He's an entrepreneur first and foremost. And so I find the debate between left and right about what this means utterly laughable and contemptible.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's exciting. I think it's totally fresh. It's going to really remodel this thing. And there are a lot of aspects of what not only is happening at Twitter, but what has happened at Twitter, that it just absolutely blows my mind that folks in not only mainstream media, but just in the Twitterverse and in social media universe in general, it just blows my mind that people aren't paying attention to certain things. This company, in terms of being run as a supposedly profitable business, was a complete joke. It's been a disaster. The stock price has been a joke. The board's done a lousy job. Elon Musk has commented that he's been surprised that they haven't even really had a lot of an equity interest in the company that he would have expected. Jack Dorsey really ended up just being a meme. Just being taken to the back of the woodshed by Ted Cruz in a lot of these hearings, where he just came on looking like he was held in a basement as a hostage on a deer farm for the last 3 years, with a deer's eyes stuck on the headlights. The company was run badly. The platform hasn't been maximized. He's going to be taking it over. he's demonstrated that he knows what he's doing in creating leaning forward businesses with SpaceX and Tesla and the Boring Company and all the rest of it. So it really has surprised me that there's been no appreciation in terms of the fact that he's going to be taking over a company where prior management did a really lousy job. And the other thing that really amazes me about the debate is that everybody's saying, oh, we're shocked about the concept that Elon Musk is going to be taking a role with respect to how to deliver certain content from a business perspective. Who hasn't been doing that? Companies have been doing that. Government officials have been doing that. The governor of Florida has been trying to promote a story on social media with respect to attacking Disney, a major employer in Florida, despite the fact that the tax and bond payments that are going to be carried over to the two counties down there is going to be transferring $1 billion worth of debt to Florida citizens. And companies that have been adopting what you might call a left-leaning posture, that are getting attacked by certain figures in power and in social media, it applies to both ends of the political spectrum. Chick-fil-A was being attacked by San Antonio because of its family and religious views. There's plenty of blame to go around. But the perspective on what this really means really has not been covered very well at all, as well as the big picture. People are just feigning this total shock and concern that someone's going to be steering the content. That's been happening from day one. The only issue is that it's been going through a completely unprofitable company where they've had no clue on how to be able to maximize the revenues. So where do you see this going in terms of, this is going to have to get shareholder approval. It's probably going to be adopted. What happens next?
Well, a couple things. I think we have to say, in fairness to Jack Dorsey, Twitter's worth, what, $44 billion. We should all be so good, or we should all be so ineffective. This has been a remarkable story of success. It's implicit in Musk acquiring it is he thinks that there's much greater potential.
Right.
Again, if I knew the potential, or if I had a clue, Twitter wouldn't be purchased for $44 billion. It would already be much more expensive than it already is.
Right.
The point of this, I think, is that Elon Musk has a vision that no one's thought of, and that's why left and right need to quiet down and relax.
Yeah.
This notion that he's going to just keep Twitter as is defies basic common sense. And so where does it go? It's really hard to say. I say again, though, I think all this wailing about it presumes that Twitter, the richest man in the world, is buying a megaphone. Well, wait a second. Let's look at the beginning of the 21st century. What are the most popular internet companies? AOL and Yahoo. Have we heard about them lately? In the early part of the 21st century, the two big social media companies were Friendster and MySpace. How are they doing? To pretend that Twitter is the frontier of American communication vandalizes reason. Yet that's what left and right are doing today. The right thinks that, well, finally, we're not going to be victims anymore, and we're going to get to say our piece. And the left think that the right's going to get to say its piece, and that Elon Musk is going to give them a megaphone, and then this is it. Oh, please,
Yeah.
God, we are such a rich and spoiled country full of people who just don't have a clue.
Well, I think we're also a country that is completely infected with an unbreakable level of political cynicism. We're looking at a guy who has broken all these frontiers in terms of being able to revolutionize the space industry, being able to revolutionize the car industry, and people are not appreciating, at least even in terms of the potential of what he can do and what he's already accomplished. We are so sedentary in our political rigid cynicism that we can't take a look as a country at a unique opportunity for someone who has demonstrated himself, I would suggest, to be basically the modern version in corporate America of Albert Einstein, and really do something groundbreaking with this company. Who would have thought that all of the other car manufacturers in the United States put together can't even hold a candle to the number of electric vehicles that Tesla has put out? But yet we have become such a cynical, such a pessimistic, such a divided country that when somebody comes in to create this kind of an opportunity, everybody is going to be leaning on 5 negative points, especially in social media, before they come up with a positive point.
Yeah, no, that's true, but I would give a more optimistic spin on it. yes, in this narrow world we live in, yeah, there's lots of whining about this and lots of focus on the bad with Musk. But I think overall, Americans celebrate achievement. Remember when Steve Jobs died? Forget about what we read in the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal. For the people, it was a very sad event. And I think here, once again, I think there's great admiration for the entrepreneurial, the opposite thinking ways of someone like Elon Musk. It's such a cliche, but to some degree, guys like us need to get out of where we are on occasion and be reminded of that the rest of the country isn't worried about getting more or less free speech. Twitter is yet another tool for people in a very elite category in the United States.
So in conclusion, I'd like to just dig into a final aspect of this. A lot of people have tried to analyze and put into perspective what this means for Twitter. What does this mean for the rest of the community of big tech? If Twitter is going to be taken to another level, and you and I suspect, and as two guys who really admire Elon Musk, that he is going to obviously take this to a higher level. Once he gets it out of the basement and up to a normal cruising altitude, by definition, it'll be at a higher level. But what is this going to do to the rest of big tech and social media? It would certainly appear that in a free market economy, everything works at the heart of competition. And if Twitter is going to finally be able to become more relevant in terms of demonstrating more corporate creativity and go into other business models, then obviously that's going to pressure other companies in big tech to step it up. Facebook is not without its controversy as well. What, if any, other spillover effects do you think this has for big tech at large?
Whatever they are, they're going to be undeniably good. It's too often what I always tell people: if you're worried about the power of a business or the wealth of a business, if you're worried about big tech, you want the valuations of big tech companies to skyrocket, because they are the summons for new investment aiming at taking away their power, essentially pushing them off of the perch at the top of the team picture of big tech. And so let's hope he sees something that we're not seeing that is going to drive the valuation of Twitter to heights that we never imagined, because that is what foretells abundant future investment in what will eventually replace Twitter. It cannot be stressed that nothing is forever. And in an age where technology moves faster and faster, nothing is forever becomes nothing is even a decade-long thing anymore. This is going to attract enormous investment, and that's good.
The great acceleration technology continues to have a quicker acceleration and more great things. I think this is a very exciting. I think that this is a very, very positive story. The world of social media has provided a lot of change in the world, not only in terms of opportunities for shareholders who are going to get a nice premium thanks to Elon Musk on this buyout. It's about roughly a 30% premium, not a bad payday, but the social media universe has created positive change in a lot of different ways. It's provided opportunities for people, even in global conflicts, to be able to have a voice, to be able to spread information, to understand what is going on in certain conflicts around the world. People in Ukraine are able to get their voices out. And ironically, when Ukraine needed an assistance from Starlink to be able to maintain their critical communications, who helped them out? Elon Musk. John, thanks a lot for the conversation, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thank you.